All right. I think we're live. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. If anyone in the chat can hear me, just push one. Confirmation from the chat. Thank you for the confirmation. Welcome back to the Black Brain Trust. This is episode 514, Black Blockchain Talk. Please hit the like button as you come in, share the video if possible, hit that notification bell so you get all the updates from the Black Brain Trust from those posted on the community tab. Document description beneath the video for you to follow along with. If you want to engage in this discussion, there'll be a link in the chat for you to click on. When you click on the link, make sure you raise your hand so that one of us can acknowledge you and advance you to the panel. Before you decide to click on that link, also make sure you update your Zoom client. A new update went out yesterday. If you don't update your client, you won't be able to connect to the show and get on the panel. So I'm late. Had another engagement before here, so I apologize for the wait. Let me drop the link down for those of you who do want to engage. And let me shout out people who showed up first. Mega Montana, peace to you. Meet Excel's peace. Estiwa, peace to you as well. Engineering Cannabis, good evening to you. Mike M, what it do? Thako Davidson, hello to you as well. We got 12 people 12 people watching and then about 8 likes. Make sure you hit the like button if you're not going to engage in the discussion. All right, let me get to the first item on the docket. Black Scorpion, what's going on? All right, let me get to the first item on the docket. This one is from btcmanager.com. PwC other launch blockchain-based luxury goods authentication solution. This is interesting. Eliminating fake products with blockchain. According to a research report released by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, counterfeit and pirated goods have continued to rise in the last few years, and they now account for 3.3% of global trade. In a bid to sanitize the luxury goods industry and ensure people do not purchase counterfeit products with their hard-earned money, PwC has launched the Virgo blockchain solution in collaboration with LuxoChain RFID solution provider, Tamara and VAR Group. Per sources close to the matter, the Virgo blockchain solution is designed to foster transparency in the entire supply chain of luxury goods, from the point where the raw materials were purchased down to when it hits the retail market. Notably, the team has made it clear that the Virgo platform is powered by blockchain technology and the Internet of Things, IoT. Specifically, Virgo will enable manufacturers of luxury goods to certify authenticity of the products using radio frequency identification, near-field communications, and blockchain technology, while also being able to integrate it into their existing ERP solutions. On the other hand, consumers will be able to view the entire, let me advance MOT. Will be able to view the entire details of the purchased product, including its origin, raw materials used, ethical sustainability, and more using their mobile phones. What's more, all luxury goods on the Virgo platform will have a digital passport stored on the Luxo chain blockchain. And they'll also come with a digital wallet to help consumers keep their ownership certificate securely. This way, the original owner of each product will be able to seamlessly transfer ownership to another person via a resale, and the buyer will be able to easily verify the authenticity of the product. This is going to make the market explode. And
yes, it is.
This is going to make the market explode, because if everybody wants the real thing, whether they can afford it or not, you're going to be able to determine what's real and what's fake. So all these people who walk around with these fake Gucci and Louis Vuitton and stuff like that, your days are numbered. You can have a fake one if you want to, but when somebody comes with the real one, that little bag that you got ain't gonna be worth nothing. Them belts ain't gonna be worth nothing.
And also, they can make it like a possession charge if you're in possession of quote unquote stolen goods. A lot of these small ass towns are locking people up, and I'm not talking about black. Just because they're in, or they store, or they're in possession of something that's stolen, regardless of where it came from. And that's what they're gonna do about non-authentic things. I'm talking about chains and all that shit. Like any trademark logo that isn't quote unquote real, your ass can get locked up for it, being in possession of it. I mean, you know, it's no different than having like a VCR tape with movies on it. You can technically still go to jail for 8 years for having just one of them things on there. Yeah, being in possession of it. It's just not prosecuted.
It's hard to enforce it. It's hard to enforce it. But this is going to make the value of the market explode, because once people, because they're going to make limited edition products. They're probably going to make one of 99 or something like that, one of 50. That thing's going to shoot right through the roof. A bag is going to be worth like $100,000 if it's limited in production, and you can verify the authenticity of it, and you can pull it up on your phone too. Crazy.
I'm telling you, man, it's kind of like a whole new era of memorabilia market.
Yeah,
it's a whole new, different level to that. Because, you know, baseball cards and jerseys and all that stuff has to go through a strict authentication process. Now they're pretty much doing it with any consumer good, especially luxury. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Leather jackets and shoes and stilettos and red bottoms and all that crazy stuff. That stuff is going to be worth buku bucks later on down the line, like baseball cards, man. I see the whole market moving in that direction at some point. Clothes and stuff like that. They're eventually.
I already thought it would have been happened by now, man. I already thought it would have been happened by now. I mean, like if most of the clothes were actually made in the United States, that obviously would have happened. But because of where they're manufactured at, that's the only reason why I have not.
Yeah. Let me jump to the next item on the docket. CoinTelegraph.com. Leveraging Hyperledger Fabric, enterprise blockchain unleashes viable solutions. Billion-dollar industries are using blockchain platforms powered by Hyperledger Fabric to bring trust to traditionally non-transparent markets. Located in San Francisco's Presidio Heights neighborhood, the Linux Foundation's office is nestled in a square of red roofed buildings that resemble homes rather than technology workspaces. Inside the Linux Foundation's office sits Brian Berndeloff, the executive director of Hyperledger. Berndeloff, who has been a leading figure in the open source software movement for years, explained that the Linux Foundation has put together a series of collaborative software projects to draw attention to specific technologies. In the case of Hyperledger, the project was initiated in December 2015 to raise awareness of distributed ledgers and smart contract systems. The Hyperledger community currently consists of 15 technology code bases or projects, the first of which were Hyperledger Fabric and Hyperledger Sawtooth. Bernaloff told Cointelegraph that each are general purpose distributed ledger systems, yet there are deep architectural differences between them. For instance, Hyperledger Fabric is intended as a foundation for developing applications or solutions with a modular architecture. It allows for components such as consensus and membership services to be plug and play. Hyperledger Fabric has been adopted by major cloud service providers, including Alibaba, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Baidu, Google, Huawei, IBM, Oracle, SAP, and Tencent. On the other hand, Hyperledger Sawtooth provides a flexible architecture that separates an organization's core system from its application domain. This allows smart contracts to specify business rules for applications without needing to know the underlying design of the core system. Salesforce blockchain platform is based on Hyperledger Sawtooth. With a market size estimated at over $900 billion in 2015, the global aerospace parts manufacturing market is expected to grow at a rate of 4.1% between 2020 and 2027. With the United States exhibiting the largest market for aircraft parts manufacturing. But unfortunately, achieving trust is one of the greatest challenges for companies operating in the aerospace industry. Lisa Butters, a general manager at Honeywell, told Cointelegraph that blockchain can help ensure trust within the billion-dollar aerospace industry. Honeywell Aerospace has been providing products and services to leading commercial aircraft across the globe for a century. In 2019, Honeywell developed a blockchain-based platform called Go Direct Trade, which is powered by Hyperledger Fabric. According to Butters, Go Direct Trade is an Amazon-like online marketplace for used aerospace parts, which is a $4 billion per year industry. Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, sure is.
Wow. The platform leverages blockchain to prove the part's origin while ensuring that each complies with safety standards, Butters said. Go Direct Trade is similar to Carfax for used cars, except that blockchain, rather than word of mouth, provides consumers with documented information about part pedigree and previous ownership.
That's how the military keeps its parts stocked for like planes and all that stuff. This is why they never needed certain types of planes. This is where they get all their parts from. That's pretty much what they're saying.
Butters mentioned that each aviation piece added to the Go Direct Trade platform immediately connects the layers of the supply chain. Everything combined into a single shared ledger of transaction, which is meant to transparently track an item's movement. Traditionally, aviation parts are given paper birth certificates to document their movements, ownership, and more. But paper documents are hard to keep track of and are prone to forgery. According to Butters, less than 3% of the $4 billion in used aerospace parts sold per year is conducted online due to the notion that aerospace parts are typically tracked and resold using paper documents. This makes the process of selling parts online nearly impossible. Butters added that $7 million in transactions have already taken place on Go Direct platform. That's amazing. Yet, while aircraft dismantlers, aerospace repair shops, and major airline manufacturers use Go Direct Trade to list and purchase parts, a blockchain-based ecosystem doesn't always fare well with major airline companies. Butters explained that the problem with building out a blockchain-based like Go Direct Trade is getting enterprises to share data. To that end, Hyperledger Fabric serves as a private permissioned blockchain network requiring companies to be given permission to access the platform and view data. Once data is granted, specific organizations can set up a digital storefront on Go Direct Trade. Afterward, trusted companies on the network can load their aerospace parts directly to the platform via an application programming interface, API, and by transferring a text file to Honeywell. According to Butters, GoDirect's target revenue in sales for this year is $20 million, which she noted will increase to $250 million by 2022. It's not too long from here. American Express's Vice President of Technology, Michael Concanon, told Coin and Telegraph that the company is leveraging blockchain technology for its flexible rewards program, designed to let merchants create offers using Amex membership rewards points on their own platforms. Concanon explained that the goal of the flexible rewards program is to provide engagement with partners while rewarding card members. For instance, when customers use their Amex cards today, they typically rewarded one point per dollar spent. Those rewards can be put towards gift cards, travel, or to cover recent card charges. However, a retailer partnering with Amex might want to use rewards to target a brand or a product, a particular day of the week, or a customer profile. Blockchain enables those retailers to leverage rewards in a variety of ways. Hyperledger Fabric powers the flexible rewards blockchain. According to Concanon, Amex uses a Hyperledger Fabric network. While merchants run Amex-hosted nodes, merchants are able to add information to those nodes, which then triggers smart contracts to create rewards points. That's dope. Once reward points are created, Amex's node moves those points from its blockchain network into its existing reward system and back end. This allows card members to consume their points and view them in a traditional manner. The online retailer, Box, was the first to partner with Amex on the flexible rewards program. Box conducted a pilot with Amex in March 2018. Today, its website offers eligible card members 9 additional membership rewards points per dollar spent on Box.com. The Box mobile application is selected on selected products. In 2019, Rakuten, formerly known as Ebase, partnered with Amex to offer its customers flexible rewards. The partnership allowed new users of the platform to earn Amex membership rewards points instead of cash back for affiliate link purchases. Rakuten expanded this offer to all of its members in October of last year. Concanon further noted that Rakuten was the first Amex partner to use a behavioral-based model to reward customers. He explained that Rakuten users can earn points unrelated to card spend, but rather based on certain behaviors. If consumers link their accounts to Rakuten, they are able to redeem their rewards as Amex reward points. An additional blockchain-based use case is currently in the works for Amex. During Hyperledger Global Forum 2020, Concanon spoke about a system called Vendor Invoice Invalidation and Reconciliation, which is a homegrown application that leverages Hyperledger Fabric to enable Amex contractors and vendors to reconcile their invoices, Concanon explained to Coin Telegraph. The system would allow Amex to conduct faster payments and reduce cycle time. Moreover, a blockchain network provides visibility to all transactions made from the vendor partner. In addition to Amex's flexible reward program, the company filed for a patent for a blockchain-based proof of payment system in 2018. Yeah, this is pretty long. I'm not going to go through all of this. But what I will say is that, blockchain has a lot of use cases that I think Black people can really look at them for themselves. And so what I would say here is this. I'm actually going to do a live stream on it. I may do a in-person town hall discussion on this the next time the opportunity comes post-COVID-19. on the 10 areas of human activity that blockchain can actually enable to help Black Americans advance in this society. I'll definitely have to sit down and look at that. So we got Nagone 11 on the panel. All right.
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing, brother?
Good, brother. What's going on?
All right, man. I'm just chiming in and getting a few things together here. I got my fireplace going right now, man. So I'm trying to stack some wood up in this joint, man. It's, so.
Marshmallows on there, man?
Nah, man, ain't no marshmallows, bruh. Ain't no marshmallows on it, man. Just a couple logs on the fire, man. Anyhow, go ahead, man. I'm gonna chime in. I'm listening.
All right. Next item on the docket is from Yahoo Finance. Blockchain now officially part of China's technology strategy. An influential government authority responsible for planning China's economy has said blockchain will form an integral part of the country's data and technology infrastructure. The National Development and Reform Commission, NDRC, told reporters Monday blockchain will join other emerging technologies such as cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and the Internet of Things in underpinning the systems China uses to manage the flow of information in the coming years. Originally, the State Planning Commission, the NDRC, is a cabinet-level department that draws up policies and strategies for the direction of the Chinese economy. It has a wide brief that covers everything from investments into public transport to running anti-monopoly probes, as well as overseeing corporate debt issuance. On how new technologies, including blockchain, will be integrated, high-tech director Wu Hao said the NDRC would work with the relevant departments to study and issue relevant guidance to promote the development of new infrastructure, revise and improve the access rules that are conducive to the sustainable and healthy development of emerging industries. What that meant for blockchain's future in China is hard to know because the NDRC has a complicated relationship with the broader industry. An NDRC subsidiary has been working on a new blockchain service network, BSN, that would provide companies with access to the tools they need to develop blockchain-based applications. Having already launched the domestic commercial use, it will open for global companies later this week. However, last April, the NDRC included the country's substantial Bitcoin mining sector on a draft proposal for the industries it wanted eliminated from China. The body quietly removed mining from its list of undesirable industries weeks after Xi made his thoughts on the great potential of blockchain abundantly clear in October. In the past, NDRC has issued guidance and supportive policies for industries considered vital for the government's economic strategy. It signed an agreement with the China Development Bank in late 2018 to provide 100 billion yuan or 14.1 billion US dollars in financial support to companies working in emerging tech such as AI and IoT. Whether the NDRC is planning on providing a similar level of support to companies working with blockchain is not yet known. But as support for the technology now goes all the way to the top, blockchain firms may well soon find themselves treated more favorably as they are in nations such as South Korea. So this is important. We covered on Monday, we covered a documentary from DW that talked about China's role in AI, okay? China is posed to dominate the whole AI sector of fourth industrialization by 2030, okay? They submit the most patents, even more so than the United States. When you take these things into consideration, blockchain, AI, IoT, China is at the forefront of all of this. And so the United States is nowhere near any of this, any of these parts of the emerging technologies. You have a lot of tech companies coming out of Silicon Valley and Austin, Texas, but there's nothing really driving American society in the same way it drives China's society as it stands right now. If you watch that documentary, it's on the community tab from DW. China's whole their major tech hubs or their major cities have basically embraced all of this technology as we speak. US cities, US states and government can't even handle the amount of unemployment claims being submitted to their systems because the systems are so archaic. That's what we're dealing with here. And so you really can't have these conversations about blockchain without talking about everything else that encompasses it. So, like the article is saying, the NDRC, it's going to be funding at least close to $14 billion US to all of these companies and startups that will be focusing on AI, IoT, blockchain, and cloud computing, and so on and so forth. We don't have the same sort of perspective here. And so what does this mean for Black people, since it's Black Blockchain Talk? We're not getting enough funding to drive the startups in most predominantly Black neighborhoods across America. Well, how do you go about that, you suppose? There should be at least $2 to $3 million allocated to fund startups that drive innovation in these major urban centers where Black people live. Somebody needs to take that initiative on, so that people aren't getting left behind. All this talk about diversity and inclusion and Black people seem to be excluded from all these emerging tech discussions. Very interesting. All right, let me move on to the next article. All right, this is from finmess.com. Interesting. The potential of blockchain technology and financial services. Blockchain is a powerful technology that is set to transform many industries and create new applications in various fields. It is one of the emerging technologies that is driving the digital transformation of companies around the world. Blockchain, or distributed ledger technology, consists of expanding collection of records that contain the cryptographic hash of the previous record, transactional data, and timestamp. The technology is usually held on a peer-to-peer network that is completely decentralized. The records cannot be altered and therefore offer a high standard in security as well as transparency. Blockchain networks are more commonly public, but private networks have also been developed. Blockchain has been one of the leading trends of finance in recent decades, with more financial firms keen on exploring the possibilities of the technology. New blockchain technologies have been rapidly increasing and taking the form of different solutions. The technology still has challenges to overcome, such as interoperability before the adoption is widespread, but the inexorable rise of blockchain cannot be refuted. But for London-based companies that are interested to know about the technologies that can drive business growth, a reliable IT company in London can help to develop a new IT strategy for more scaled and productive operations. Smart contracts. Smart contracts mean an action will only be performed if the pre-established conditions are met. They will always be executed when the conditions are met, and this cannot be changed. The oracle is the term for the third-party information source that allows the smart contract to access data that is not already on the blockchain. Chainlink is an example of a decentralized oracle network that can provide access to external data, APIs, and traditional banking systems. I'm not going to go through all this, but I'll just read that on the last one. Digital identity verification. Many financial transactions cannot be completed without identity verification. This could involve facial recognition, authorization, or authentication. All the different stages that are in place for a verification also need to be carried out by each new service provider in a system to maintain the highest level of security. A study by ForgeRock showed that personally identifiable information is targeted in 97% of all data breaches in 2018. The beneficial qualities of blockchain technology mean that the verification process can be completed much more quickly for both organizations and individual users. Systems that are powered by blockchain can also offer extra reassurances with respect to security. Zero knowledge proof, or ZKP, is a new innovation that has become popular among governments and organizations. This is a principle that allows one party to prove to another party that they have certain information without revealing anything about that information. This has an immediate application in identity verification. Zcash is a cryptocurrency platform that uses a version of zero knowledge proofs that known as ZK snarks to ensure transactions remain encrypted before they are verified. ING Bank has developed their own ZKP solution called Zero Knowledge Range Proof, and Ernst & Young announced the third generation of their ZKP technology on the Ethereum blockchain in December 2019. Blockchain is undoubtedly having a revolutionary impact on the world of finance, though this has yet to be fully realized. Leaders in the financial institutions and fintech firms are making DLT a priority and preparing to adapt a business world in which blockchain is ubiquitous. For now, we should educate ourselves in the potential in blockchain and get ready for some monumentous changes. Yeah, we've been talking about that for a minute. Okay. The last paragraph says it all. We should educate ourselves in the potential in blockchain and get ready for some monumentous changes. So I'm kind of just beating a dead horse, but this article reinforces everything that we have already said. We move on to the next and final piece on the docket, and then we'll get out of here. All right, this is from paymentsjournal.com. AI is a better investment than blockchain for FIs today. Sorry, Forbes. Financial institutions, what FI stands for. The pandemic has dramatically reduced international remittance and jammed up international supply chains, but has conversely increased customer service issues and the need for improved outbound marketing. AI can help financial institutions respond more accurately and efficiently with less manpower. Mercator does not recommend the use of blockchain as a glorified database. If not integrating data from multiple third parties or individuals, then use a database that costs less to deploy, can be deployed more quickly, and performs faster. Also, recognize that implementing smart contracts developed in a Turing complete development environment for deployment on a blockchain is high risk with liability ramifications. Excerpted below is a Forbes article that discusses the topic further. Here are several ways blockchain and AI technologies can revolutionize the financial industry. Better customer service. Currently, opening an investment account can take several days, but because banks need to collect information from various sources about their clients. A blockchain can store all customer information in one place, while AI-driven algorithms can quickly analyze that information and make unbiased decisions. As a result, financial institutions can offer personalized services to more clients faster, more securely, and more efficiently. For instance, the Luvo service chatbot and the KAI-based bot were successfully implemented for reducing customer queries. Using these AI-powered services, bank clients can get answers on their simple questions and can automate daily tasks like money transfers, account reviews, and reporting. Time is money, but bank transactions are still slow and costly. In contrast, blockchain-based cross-border payments are inexpensive and fast because they don't require third-party authorization. Just compare the 2% to 3% remittance cost for blockchain transactions with the 5% to 20% withheld by traditional banks. In terms of speed, the number of confirmed Bitcoin transactions per second reached 3.8 in March 2020, while its highest rate was 4.7 in mid-December 2017. AI technologies can further increase transaction speeds by reducing the need for human input. And banks can automate payment workflows by applying image recognition to financial documents and using natural language processing to support payments via voice assistants. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. According to according to the United Nations, the amount of money laundered globally varies between $800 billion and $2 trillion per year. However, a combination of blockchains and AI could bring money laundering to an end. Blockchains ensure data transparency and traceability, giving regulators and law enforcement all the information they need for audits. Additionally, the use of smart contracts can prevent clients from providing false data and banks from changing their contract terms. AI-based technologies can validate client transactions against payment fraud in real time. And AI-based behavior analytics can enable financial institutions to respond in near real time to insider security incidents. We have engineering cannabis on the panel.
Hey, Mike.
What's going on, bro?
Good. But what I'm going to say is this. In terms of the financial service, I agree with that. But in terms of other industry, I believe blockchain and AI go hand in hand. I mean, currently I'm working on a project dealing with security, and I've learned that you can use blockchain to personalize security system just for any individual or any company. So I'm just using just that blockchain side, trying to use that for personalized security systems. And using AI and IoT, I'm basically developing those kind of technology. And I'm using that just to personalize physical security system and trying to basically evolve that system from the regular system we have right now to using AI, IoT in the system and blockchain. And they go hand in hand. I mean, perfectly go hand in hand, where you can personalize individual security system based on using blockchain itself. So, and AI. So they go both hand in hand. And in any industry, you can basically, again, IoT, blockchain, AI. I mean, those are, very powerful tools. And if you know how to use them, I mean, you can explore a lot of solutions to a lot of problems. So anybody who's going into it needs to just jump into it. There are a lot of opportunities in this. I'm seeing designs that I haven't seen before, and I'm linking it up, and it's something else. So jump into it, learn it, and I promise you see solutions you've never seen before, and you can connect it, and it's something else.
Yeah, the thing is, if there had to be a choice for a institution, I agree with the article. AI is the better investment than the blockchain itself because you don't necessarily need blockchain in every single situation, right?
You don't need blockchain. So for instance, when you talked, there was one, I think last week when you talked of deep learning, and you talked of in COVID-19, and you talked of using AI and deep learning and basically mapping out X-rays and doing all that. At that point, blockchain wasn't needed. You could, that solution just derived.
Right.
So there are instances where, yes, AI is a very powerful tool, but again, there are instances where blockchain and AI together, it's also a powerful tool. And again, if you know how to basically utilize, again, IoT, another powerful tool again, and AI, that's something else. Because what I'm seeing, especially with IoT, feeding data to sensors, and what I'm seeing right now, and the applications, and what I'm drawing out and seeing basically coming through, it's something else. It's a very powerful tool. And what I'm seeing now, there are companies adopting the IoT formula in terms of manufacturing and all that. But I haven't seen other industries adopted it, but it's coming. And it's going to change a lot of industries. It's going to change a lot of ways we do things. It's going to make a lot of the way we do things right now will be different when IoT is adopted with AI. A lot of massive changes will come out. I've seen it. I'm looking at it. I'm seeing the design. I'm seeing the pipeline. There's a lot of changes that can happen with this technology combined together.
Yeah, because see, they're both enablers, right? They're both technology enablers.
Yes.
And so you have to pick and choose where you're going to use blockchain and where you're going to use AI, especially tiny AI that's coming out. I think at some point we'll start to see another iteration of blockchain like 4.0 or 5.0, where it's been miniaturized or nanotized for smartphones and watches.
Yeah.
Because it has to be able to process all this stuff in real time on someone's device, right? You can't wait for it to go to the cloud.
That real-time processing speed, that real-time, that's where it's going to be at. Again, with IoT, real-time AI. Again, you have IoT feeding data to AI, real-time data. That's where the power comes in. And again, blockchain, what I've seen in blockchain is in terms of, in some instances, again, for instance, a security system, it's a personalized security system. You can use blockchain.
I just wanted to ask real quick. Hey, Mike, what about blockchain 3.0?
It's already here.
Oh, okay.
It's already here. Yeah, 3.0 is already here. So Ethereum 3.0 is what you would actually call it. And so the latest iteration of Ethereum is 3.0.
Yeah.
And the smart contracts are part of 3.0.
And also with the drone technology too.
Yep.
Ooh, IoT, drone technology, AI.
Heavy duty.
What I've seen in the design of it, whew, when you equipped all those three, you can do a lot of damage in a lot of industries. So I'm looking at basically implementing those three and also trying to build a pipeline on all those three. And it's something else. So again, IoT, AI, drone technology, blockchain, these are very powerful tools, but you have to know when to use them, when to apply them, and how to use them properly. So again, I've been studying, again, IoT with AI, and now I'm looking into drone technology, and those are powerful tools. If you can imagine what they can do, there's a lot of applications to those.
No, you're talking about deliveries, you're talking about, fire, first responders, mapping out things for
the government, use it for disaster relief.
Yeah.
I mean, the application, if you know how to apply it, there's a lot you can do.
Yeah.
Especially when there's a disaster or there's a hurricane, after the aftermath of it, how you gonna navigate the whole place, collecting data, using IoT using the drone technology, or IoT at the same time, knowing how to navigate the whole place and knowing how to logistically bring resources and all. I mean, there's a lot of application to it.
Yeah,
And
we also have to take into consideration that a lot of the good portion of dumb phones, right? Phones that just basically don't have any smart features.
Yes.
So how do you cater to a demographic that can't afford a smartphone, or for whatever reason they just don't have a smartphone?
And if you can solve that, you can also solve the financials part of it, because a lot of people who don't have smartphones need bank accounts.
Yeah.
And so if you can solve that problem, you can solve the financial problem of bank accounts and providing banking institutions to individuals who don't have bank accounts and all banking information.
Right. And now you're talking about SMS-based machine learning AI-based systems. You basically get a text message, you respond to the text message through one of the numeric keypad, and it's constantly giving you real-time information and response. And so you don't need to have the actual smartphone, it's delivering the intelligence to you.
Yep. So there's a lot of application. And again, if this is the opportunity where anybody can jump in and create a solution or problem, and go in and start a startup, present it to somebody, do it somewhere, and go from there. This is where the startup mentality should be driving this. Because there's a lot of opportunity in terms of startup. This is where the startup mentality should be driving. This is where you start looking at different designs, different ideas. Again, you can throw it out. It's not going to stick, but iteration, continuous iteration, and solving that till it's perfect. Your first design is not going to be the perfect design. You're always going to have mistakes and all, but continuous iteration until it becomes perfect. So again, this is where the startup mentality comes in. Study all the technologies, see how it works, see how it fits in, and just start drawing some startup ideas and go from there. Do some presentations out there and see how it sticks. That's what I'm trying to do. Come up with some presentations and all that. See what sticks and go from there.
Yeah, whiteboarding is very important.
Whiteboarding, I mean, I got my whiteboard is so full. I mean,
I have to go get another one.
Doing all that, getting it out there and making iterations when you see you can do something different with this. You can make some changes. So continuous iteration.
Yep. Diaspora L in the chat asked a question. He says, does this change everything? Not necessarily. It's just a perspective, right? The article is really just pointing to a perspective on whether or not AI is a better investment than blockchain for financial institutions today. I would agree with the assessment that, yeah, you probably get more bang for your buck by having AI chatbots and so on and so forth, because now you don't really need the human element, right? And so I want to say it's American Express or another card I had last month where I had an issue. I actually lost the card and then I needed it replaced. And the AI bot was so good. It actually did all of this for me. I didn't have to talk to a human. I was impressed. I didn't have to, dial the number or anything like that. The app had the AI chatbot enabled, and I basically explained in a paragraph what my issue was, and it was able to deduce it in less than 5 seconds and confirm. All I need to do is confirm that, I do need a card sent to me, and have my previous card terminated, and so on and so forth. It did it all for me. I spent less than 5 minutes getting that done. That was something that was new to me. Typically I don't lose my cards and things in my wallet and stuff like that. So I never seen this before. So when they presented it to me as an option, I was like, let me try this for a second. And sure enough, it worked. So these AI chatbots are getting really, really good. They're getting really good.
And yeah, everything AI, especially, they're improving it. With more data, you improve on it. And again, the startup, in terms of startup, you don't need to be highly technical in terms of startup. You
Mhm.
just need to understand how the pieces come together. So again, startups, I've seen startups began with people with no technical background. They just know how the pieces fit, and then they just walk from there, and then find technical people to basically help to design the whole stuff. So you really don't need to be highly technical. You just need
Right.
to find someone who's technical and then partner up with the person, or just have that idea on how these technologies come together. And again, these are powerful tools that are going to change how we do our day-to-day activities.
Yeah. Because the thing is, Black people's biggest issue in terms of emerging tech is that, from a startup perspective, they don't have access to financial resources. They just don't have the same capital investment. Silicon Valley, Austin, Texas, a lot of money getting pumped down there, billions of dollars into these startups. When you go to a predominantly Black neighborhood or something of that, or some urban city, very few people who look like us are having conversations about actually launching a startup, and very few people who do make these investments in startups are actually investing into Black startups. So what's happening here is there's a disconnect from a financial resources or economic resources perspective, and from the ideal of actually launching a startup. Black people looking at this from a cultural perspective that, well, my next business is going to be a startup. The term startup doesn't even exist in their lexicon. So there's a myriad of issues I think that needs to be addressed by local state governments on how you fix this employment issue. And you don't fix it by creating more jobs. You fix it by funding more opportunities for those people. And people,
But before even that, the financial side, you still need the knowledge of this before the financial side. You still need people to know that these technology exist. You still need to know people that, hey, you can use these technologies to basically change and revolutionize things. So yes, the financial part, I agree with you. We
yeah,
need access to that. But again, we still need people to understand this first, understand the basis of AI, the basis of IoT, to understand how this can influence mostly every industry.
Mhm.
And then we can deal with it. But if you don't have that knowledge, or even though have no premise of what AI does or premise what IoT does, at that point you will be left behind. That's a given.
No, that's true. But the thing is, let's say a person does have that knowledge. Okay, they have some form of literacy. They can't partake in the startup sector because they're going uphill without they're going up the river without a paddle. And so how do you provide a paddle to them if they're going to go up that river, right? They need a paddle. The
Yep.
economic investment is going to be that paddle that they have
Yes.
to weigh it against.
Oh, yes, and that's true. And that's why most black startups, or most black tech startups,
Mhm.
are mostly first funded by in pocket.
Yeah.
And yeah, I won't lie to you, most tech black startups start with in pocket. Like, okay, I'm working, I gotta use the money I'm using for my job to feed my startup.
Yep.
At that point, then when it starts gaining ground and start getting eyes on it, then it's okay. It's now a self-sufficient startup in its own because now it has eyes on it. But at
You
first, any black tech startup, you will fund some of it. You will
you
fund some of the design. You will fund some of the coding. You will, and not only fund it, you also spend a lot of time. A lot of time will be spent in doing a lot of stuff.
you
So
need
yes, it's gonna be tough. But again, you either do it or don't.
the thing is, if you're going to fund it yourself, and I agree with you, that does happen more often than not. if you're going to fund it yourself, you got to save up at least 1 to 2 years of your salary to fund it right out the gate. Got to save at least 1 to 2 years of your own personal salary to fund the operation before you can even go to a a lender or a local bank to get a financial loan.
So at that point, you're trying to basically provide a proof of concept.
Right.
So at that point, that 2 years of salary we will aid in providing proof of concept. Then you can then go in and market and say, okay, this works based on what we've done. We've done an iteration. We've done this. We believe this works. This is the proof of concept and proof of sale and all that. So at that point, yes, you will. That's the ideal. It's not the ideal way, but that's what most Black startups start on, self-funding.
Yeah, I think what's happening here is that there needs to be, and then we talked about this before, there needs to be a startup incubator, accelerator, so on and so forth. There needs to be that sort of program in predominantly Black neighborhoods. I don't want to hear any more jobs at Walmart, McDonald's, and these sort of low wage jobs. No, there should be an accelerator in there, and we should be getting funding from local and state government, that from the SBA, saying we've out, because I talked to the SBA last year about this. How much money has been allocated for Black businesses? And they said something like $365 million, in Black women made up 75% of the portion of this.
Hey Mike, give me just a second, dude. I want to chime in on this, man. I'm just getting in. What's going on, everybody? Give me a few minutes, guys.
Yeah. And in terms of the accelerator, the question before, in terms of the accelerator, is don't you need to have trust within the community that they will produce something in terms of providing an accelerator, that this community is competent enough to provide a sustainable idea? Shouldn't that would, because that would be the building blocks first. If you're trying to basically provide an accelerator showing that, hey, we have all these tech startups willing to start. We need the funding for this. So the question is, how do you start basically generating those kind of startups, generating people coming out in troves, saying, okay, I have this idea, I have this idea, I just need this funding, I need this concept, I need this. So the goal now is, how do we provide the accelerator of those people?
There has to be a boot camp, similar to like how Shark Tank works and so on and so forth. Not with all the ridiculousness, but there needs to be some kind of a sort of display. We need to reward people based on leveraging emerging technologies to the problems in their community as a solution. And so
kind of like a DARPA challenge.
Well, to an extent, because with DARPA, I mean, you deal with people who are more knowledgeable, but in these communities like engineering cannabis, the same. How do you trust people who have not even been, who don't have the literacy to some of these technologies? But I'm thinking about this from a standpoint that there's some kind of program set up that we have. Okay, we talk about fourth industrialization, then we start talking about incubation, and then acceleration, and then full scale, full scale production. Now you're ready to go. And it needs to be funded. That's what I'm saying. It needs to be funded, because you can fund a playground, a basketball court, a football field. Doesn't make any sense why that same money doesn't get allocated, or at least a portion of that money does not get allocated for these startups, or these potential startups.
Shit, Mike, give me like 5 minutes, man, because I'm just getting dinner together. But
we're actually about to get off, but because we're finished. This is but
Okay.
So when it comes to blockchain and stuff like that, that's, you know, whether AI is a better investment. Yeah, AI is a better investment for some institutions. For other institutions that are globalized or nationalized for that matter, multinational, blockchain makes a lot of sense. And then there's the total aspect where AI and blockchain together both make sense. Cloud computing, containerization, both make sense. Data science.
Well, this is all the future, Mike.
Say it again.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm saying this is all the future. This is where everything is actually going. So,
Yeah.
Not only does it make sense, but that's our future, and the future's here right now. I mean, we've got AI going on. We've got blockchain getting ready to come online. Seriously, we've got major banks and other institutions that are definitely that are going to get deeply involved with this. So, this is where things are definitely going. This is the future.
Yeah. I mean, there should be a Silicon, Black neighborhood in every single, or Silicon district in every Black neighborhood across America. Silicon Harlem, Silicon.
Yeah,
Silicon.
Definitely should have. We have Silicon Harlem, but we don't have Silicon, let's say Washington Heights, or we don't have Silicon, South Side Chicago, whatever. We definitely don't have that.
Yeah, they should be ubiquitous. They should be ubiquitous in the same way that your Red Cross is ubiquitous in every neighborhood, or your YMCA's and your Boys and Girls Clubs and so on and so forth. That's where it should be at. You see, the problem I have with these other institutions that they want to be the drivers behind, the literacy aspect for tech and stuff like that. But that's not originally what the institutions were built for. And so they're just getting the funding and taking the lead on this, but they're doing a poor job at it. It's not an Apple Store is an Apple Store. You can go to Best Buy and buy a MacBook if you want, but going to the Apple Store is an experience. Like you go to the Apple Store and it's an experience. The customer service, the environment, it's a whole experience. So you have to build an institution that's dedicated to that, so that people get that experience, that blank canvas, so that they can do their thing. We got Jay on the panel. What's going on, man?
Totally.
Oh, what's going on, guys? Just listening.
Okay.
But I did want to throw something out there. Are you guys familiar with the SBIR program?
The who?
SBIR, Small Business Innovative Research. Basically, the government puts out a bunch of solicitations for all kinds of cool high-tech projects. And if you have a company that's under 500 people, you can apply, and they can give you up to like $2 million in funding. And there's actually a lot of money set aside for minority and woman-owned businesses.
Yeah, I've heard of it. In fact, my brother was actually looking. They were applying with a company that they're starting. So actually, they have an online advertising a company, and he was actually. I think they're doing that now. So.
Well, yeah. I think the SBI is mainly for tech, because I've actually won one before. There's like all the stuff you guys talk about. There are so many solicitations. Actually,
there's a tech aspect to it, because a lot of that online.
No, it is for tech, like the whole program.
Yeah. So.
You guys there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, I thought I'd cut out. So what was the general conclusion for this topic? I just tuned in. Is AI a better investment?
We basically, it's It depends on the industry. The AI the article right here just focused on the financial institution, but what I've seen in the application, especially with AI and blockchain, it differs in industry. So it depends on the industry. If you, for instance, if you're using if you use it for physical security, AI and blockchain goes hand in hand because I've seen a lot of design I'm looking into. So it goes hand in hand. So it depends on the industry. So again, in the financial industry, they say AI is better. But for me, my conclusion is they go hand in hand. Almost every technology I've seen, IoT, AI, blockchain, they all go hand in hand. And it's and you can see once you start looking at each design, you can see the disruption in different industry those when you put those together. IoT, drone technology, AI, you can see the disruption in all of it. So they all go hand in hand.
Okay. Yep. That's a site.
Yeah, it's the first time I ever heard of it.
Yeah, it's a great program. I mean, they judge you just on your technical merit. Anybody can apply. You can start a company. I know a lot of guys who get started through this program. And actually, one of the top reviewers is actually a black guy too. I forget which branch it is. He's in. I met him the other day, like Trader Joe's, actually. Yeah, and the nice thing about this, like, because I've put in a lot of these, I've won one, like I said, but they always give you feedback whether you win or not on how you can improve.
Are you a tech company that's currently using this? Small business?
No, so I used to work for a company that basically it was a small engineering company that all we did was write these. So there's basically like 2 seasons per year. So when SBIR time would come for solicitations, we just pick one, like based on our expertise and just write. And that's how the company made its money. Just a straight R&D company.
Are you looking to do something like this yourself or no?
Yeah.
Right.
I do scan. I still scan even though I don't work for that company anymore. I still scan, see if there's anything that would fit my expertise.
Because I'll call my brother and see, because I do believe he's involved with this as well. The only reason I'm saying they have with their online advertising, they do that whole pay-per-click, and they do a lot of online setup. So there's a lot of Java development. There's a lot of different types of developers you have to have, and I do believe he may have some developers working with them. But I'll find out a little bit more about that as well.
I might start looking into this too.
But I think so. Yeah. This looks quite interesting.
Yeah. So basically, like different agencies, like whatever kind of technology they need, some of it is actually quite far-fetched. Like people just come up with stuff and throw it on here, and you can just put in a proposal.
Far-fetched. What do you mean?
So they're trying to stimulate innovation. So I mean, some of this stuff is technology that it's just being imagined.
Okay, so.
But sometimes some people like come up with good ideas and figure it out.
Okay. Interesting.
Now I'm looking at all this right here, and it's like, yeah, this is pretty high level stuff. This is pretty high level stuff.
I'm gonna start looking at that tonight.
Yep. There's plenty of technical people I always hear on these panels. I mean, the guys on here could do something, you know what I mean, to form a company.
Yeah, I'll start looking at this tonight.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, there's 9 pages.
Wait, okay, what is this right here? What is this?
I got homework.
SBIR.
So
is this posted
basically,
in the chat?
They fund you in phases. So there's like a phase 1 where they usually give you like $60,000 to $100,000. And that's usually like I think like 9 months. And then they review your work, and if they like what you've done, you go into a phase 2, which is like kind of implementation phase. And then after that, they like what you've done, you get phase 3, which is production. So the goal of the SBIR is to actually create a product for sale at the end of it, if you go all the way to phase 3.
No, this is good. This is definitely good. Oh, engineering cannabis dropped off. I had seen something like this before. Not sure where I saw it. It might have been at a one of the startups here in Boston, but this is the first time I've seen this page. I would have assumed that the funding had been halted on a lot of these things because of the pandemic. So
No, I mean, a lot of this stuff is just set aside for IR&D. So a lot of this stuff is like funded like a year in advance already.
no, this is good. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, this is the only one. There's also Rapid Innovation Funds. It's a similar program.
Who is it?
It's called the RIF's Rapid Innovation Funds.
Is this a government program as well?
Yes.
Let me see how do you spell this. Rapid.
Yeah, Rapid Innovation Fund.
Yeah, RIF.
I thought Riff was reading his fundamentals.
Yeah. So
That,
those proposals aren't as challenging as the SBIRs. Those are a lot easier because it's pretty much just a quad chart.
Mhm.
The SBIRs are like 30 pages long. Like when you put a proposal, it takes a while to get done.
This isn't the page though.
Yeah, that looks right. That's the Navy's page, I think.
Okay.
So every branch had, like the Navy has one, DOD, Army.
What?
Air Force.
Defense Innovation Marketplace. I thought there would have been a dedicated site to this. It sounds like it's just a program and not an actual landing page.
Yeah, so every branch of the military has their own for Rapid Innovation Fund. So there's like different pages.
Okay. No, this is dope. We'll definitely drop the link in the chat for everybody else that wants that's interested in this. Complex, did you want to add anything before we close out? Complex, did you have anything you want to add before we close out? All right, I think he's going. Yeah, thank you all for joining us. Please hit the like button if not already done so. Share the video if possible. Hit that notification bell so you get all the updates from the Black Brain Trust because those posted on the community tab. Document description beat the video for you to follow along with in reference.
yo. Hey, sorry about that, man. I got a little bit of noise in the background, but no, go ahead and close it out, bro. We'll follow up on the next one.
All right.